Y'all know who this is. This is Triple G's great uncle, Coach Dave Schwartz. And I'm with Samir the Samurai. What's up, Samir?
How's it going, everyone?
And I saw you guys both on Monday when we awarded Triple G the reinstated Ring Magazine Pound for Pound Championship belt. And just a side note for folks, he didn't just become... Oh, somebody says, good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. This is Jacob. What's up, Jacob? But Golovkin has been Ring Magazine's #1 pound-for-pound rated fighter since last September. It happened when Andre Ward retired. Triple G was #2 in that pound-for-pound. And so when Andre Ward retired, Triple G stepped up into that #1 position. And I had wanted to present him with the championship belt earlier this year, back when the rematch with Canelo was still scheduled for May 5. But it just took a long time for the belt to be manufactured. Finally got my hands on it. And the timing worked out with the postponed rematch being rescheduled for September 15. So Tom was able to sort of package those two press conferences together into Monday's luncheon at the Palms restaurant. That's really awesome, says Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. That is awesome. How awesome was this guy right here translating and making sure that Golovkin caught everything that was being asked of him? Looking good, Coach. Best to all from the East Coast. And this is, oh, hey, man, that's Larry. What's up, Larry? Martha's Vineyard, Larry? Canelo. Somebody says Canelo's going to outbox Triple G. I don't think you guys agree.
See.
Maybe you guys are a little bit biased, though. I don't know. But yeah, what did you think of the Monday's press luncheon?
It was great. You know, the cheesecake was good. The meat was good.
True.
Certified. You know,
Salmon's good.
Oh, tell
you
me
had the salmon?
I had everything, but the meat was certified. Tested.
Oh yeah, VADA tested.
Yeah, VADA tested.
Hey, Krostovsky says
good.
Postal versus Taylor delivered. I haven't seen that fight yet. I got to watch it. I heard Postal showed up and gave young Taylor a little bit of an education. Although the right man won, I heard that those scorecards for Taylor were unnecessarily lopsided. So a little bit of home cooking for Taylor there in Scotland.
Does Postal still work out?
Says I should. Of course I'm going to watch it. You don't have to tell me. Yeah.
Does Postal still work out at Wildfire?
I have no idea. But I heard he was in good form. And maybe Taylor needed to drop him to ensure that victory on an impartial scorecard. But he won by it was a lopsided unanimous decision.
Hey, so I want to tell you.
Krostovsky says the scores were horrible.
If anyone needs an interpreter, Samir is very good.
Yeah,
He's
what are
really
the languages you interpret? Russian.
Okay. No, he really is good.
Yeah.
And he's like a ventriloquist. You can't see his lips moving.
And
at all.
are you Triple G's younger brother? Are you
from another
cousin?
mother?
Oh, from another mother. Okay.
And another father.
Right.
Oh, and look who's coming over here.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. The Fight Ghost is with us, with young Leo. What would be your Errol versus Mikey prediction?
Coach Schwartz. Did you hear about this? Mikey Garcia is saying that. Why does Mikey say that? Like, he's got a fight scheduled with Robert Easter Jr.
Yeah.
Takes place next month here in Los Angeles.
I don't know what happened to Mikey.
And then he's got to float Errol Spence's name. It's like, what is that? Is that an intention thing? Is he serious? Is it like a bait and switch? He wants to have everyone anticipating this super fight?
He's made a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah, because he cried wolf with Jorge Linares. I don't care what anyone says. He was the boy who cried wolf.
How about Cotto?
Yeah, he cried wolf with Cotto, too.
Hi, everybody. Say hi, Leo.
All right, JP.
Say hi.
Hey, folks, Josh Taylor, he got it done.
Did you bet on him?
I did. I was nervous.
Were you worried?
What a fight that was. I was very worried. He was shook up in the 7th. He learned a lot in the fight.
Yeah.
Scorecards.
Scored a late knockdown?
Scored a late knockdown. Did deserve it, I thought.
Yeah.
But, Bernie sent me a DM and saying he had 114, 113 Postal. I don't disagree with that.
Really?
I think 7-5 either way is fair in that fight, or 6-6. I thought Postal controlled a lot of the early rounds, but Josh Taylor's good. He's good. Only his 13th pro fight.
Did you bet? How else did you bet this past weekend?
We did all right.
Did you bet anything on the ESPN show with Virgil Ortiz?
Took Martin Murray.
Oh, Martin Murray over. Yeah. That's
Virgil
smart.
Hill
Over
was too big a
Ortiz.
favorite, but
Yeah.
Virgil Hill.
Virgil
Virgil Hill. Virgil Ortiz
Was
Jr.
that fight this weekend?
Virgil
Yeah.
Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, he
was
took
on
this
last
dude out
night.
in like 3 rounds.
Wait,
And then they ended up
ESPN.
off and running.
I thought that was a real. I saw
Virgil
it.
Ortiz Jr. can fight.
Oh yeah, no, and he
Except
can
that
punch.
The guy fought.
Oh, look at this little silver-tongued devil.
What a charmer.
No, but you know the guy that from Glendale
Yeah,
fought?
yeah, Karobian.
Was that last night?
Yeah, that was last night. That was live.
I thought it was a tape.
No, yeah, Ferdinand
That guy
Karobian.
is good.
Yeah,
Remember we
he's-
saw him at the
Sure. He's
we
only
saw him at the Avalon.
Ferdinand Karobian. He's only 20.
Oh no, we saw him on
We saw him like on an undercard
That guy's-
at the Forum.
yeah,
Yeah, where he got hurt in the very last round.
exactly.
Remember? He handled it.
No, that guy's good.
Yeah.
Hey Dave, I gotta give this. I've only had it for a few weeks, but I gotta give ESPN Plus credit. The perfect streams for the Murray fight and the Birdshout fight. So
Yeah.
it's working out pretty good so far.
Yeah,
You have to
I
show me
watched.
how to
I was
work.
able to get
Okay.
the Burchell fight on my TV, and I went to the
Great.
movies yesterday, and I watched the Murray fight while I was in line. At
That
the
was interesting
concessions.
because the Murray fight, the ref deducted a point from Garcia early in the fight, and then the guy just continued to low blow, and the
Yeah.
ref had taken the point so early that he didn't know what to do beyond taking more points. Because the guy low blowed him all night. But
Boxnard asks who wins, Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter Jr.
that's a good fight. There's no odds yet. I think Garcia, but I like the fight. I mean, Easter hasn't looked good the last few fights, but I like that fight a lot.
I think based on recent track record, I think Garcia
what
is
do
a
you
heavy
think
favorite.
the odds will be? Heavy favorite?
Oh.
4 to 1?
Well, not heavy. Yeah, maybe 3 to 1.
I think so too.
Garcia easy in that fight.
You
But
do?
Who do you like in Crawford and
Errol?
Harrell?
Boy, that is the fight I can't wait for.
I like Crawford.
You know, that's interesting
Hey,
because
Boxnard keeps asking Regis Prograis, Jose Ramirez. You know that fight ain't happening next, bro, right?
Regis has a homecoming fight.
Yeah,
I
and
like
I think Regis is going
I
to
like
join the World Boxing Super Series tournament.
I like Regis if they ever
You
fought,
do,
but-
huh? I
but
think if it takes place in California, I like Ramirez because
Yeah.
unless you can hurt him and knock him out, Ramirez is going to outwork everybody.
My son doesn't have any fear. Right?
Oh man, you better go get him!
Cero miedo.
Look at him go!
Yeah, JP and I went to watch Zerto work out. In
What
Venice,
a,
in
what a
Venice.
gentleman!
Nice
Yeah, you
guy.
talking about Gilberto
Really a nice guy.
Ramirez, huh?
Yeah, I don't think he's that good.
Ah, he's getting better.
He's getting better, but he's still.
There are people who believe he's the #1 super middleweight right now. Zerto versus David Benavidez. I think Zerto is too experienced for Benavidez right now.
So I think Mr. Loeffler's in bed right now.
Somebody's asking, any news on Fortuna? Are you serious, dude? That was a crazy... He's doing okay. I know you're not asking what his next fight is. I hope you're not doing that. If you are, you're weird, but we love you anyway.
Did he get out of surgery yet?
Yeah, I don't think there was any surgery. But I don't think he was faking it. Totally. I don't think he was totally faking
He
it.
took advantage of it.
Sure. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the other guy, who's the other guy?
Adrian Granados.
Yeah, was that the greatest?
Oh, yeah.
He
said
said,
it.
I
in the
hope he's
first-
okay, but I know he's faking. That was the best.
Hey,
Oh, I love that.
Granados
I
keeps it
love
real.
that. Can I ask you a couple questions?
Kristofsky, I don't know if Pacquiao Matisse is still on. It's not dead yet. I'll say that. It's not dead yet. And somebody asked Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz. I think I like Santa Cruz in that one.
So I have a feeling the Pacquiao fight's not going to happen.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong
Manny
too. but
Pacquiao's
it's
on our
just-
cover.
Usually he's right though.
I know.
But
Yeah.
it just seems
has a
it's
feeling, he
too,
has a feeling.
something's getting complicated.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever had the money anyway.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Anyway, I have okay. I
Uh-oh.
got
You got some questions for me?
a lot of.
All right, Samir. Samir the Samurai to take over.
Okay, so
It's a good nickname Tom came up with.
okay, so
Totally
by
random.
unpopular demand, I don't do birthdays anymore. Except I have one for you.
Oh, you don't do birthdays except here comes a birthday.
Yeah. Okay. This guy we know, great guy. His birthday's June 23rd, 1963. He won the title. I think it was junior welterweight title in a huge upset.
Really?
He
This
fought
dude's-
at the Forum.
Okay.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
So I want to know. I want to know who it is.
So he was a 140-pound champ?
Yeah.
He's
And
for one.
he
He
was
fought
a
at the
champ
Forum.
for a while. He fought at the Forum. He won the title a huge upset in Las Vegas, knocked the guy out. I just
You know where he's from? Is he American?
He's American. He was on the Olympic team.
Olympian,
Well,
huh?
me, I can't.
But he won the title in
He won the title
Las
in Vegas against a guy from Europe and Australia.
Oh, is this Vince Phillips?
Yeah.
He was not an Olympian.
No, but McKinney was, right?
Kennedy and McKinney was.
Okay.
They were on the same team. They
Right.
both had
Okay.
Ken Adams
Right,
as their.
both had Kenny Adams.
Yeah, McKinney won the gold medal,
Yeah.
like at the bantamweight division in 1988 in the Seoul Olympics. But Vince was on the U.S. team.
Yeah.
He was up there, but he didn't make it to the Olympics.
He
Yeah.
was he the best guy. Cool.
What a
Vince.
cool Vince Phillips. Yeah,
Cool
what a
Vince
hard-nosed
Phillips.
technician.
And he was good.
Yeah,
He was.
he
good.
fought everybody.
But he had a slight problem. But
Yeah, wasn't the most disciplined guy outside of
and-
the ring.
but he was a stand-up, honest guy.
Yes, he was, and a real cool guy. He actually was cool.
Yeah, he was
He was
cool.
fun. He was a lot of fun.
And how old would he be?
Well, you said 1963, so you kind of gave it away there.
Let's see how your math.
Yeah, you gave it. You
Let's
kind
see
of
how
gave
your-
it away there.
How's your math?
It's not that good.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have to go.
58.
Gosh, he's older than I thought he was.
Yeah.
He's older than I thought he was. But he was one of those guys. His amateur career was during the military service.
And who do you?
Those
lose the
military
title
guys
to?
were older. Like they would
Yeah.
turn pro in like their late 20s, like Ray Mercer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Mercer was on the '88 U.S. Olympic squad.
So who did Cool Vince lose his title to?
The IBF title too. Maybe he lost it to no, he beat Costa for it.
Yeah.
I think maybe he got upset by this kid out of St. Louis.
Six heads get him? No.
No. Six Heads was a welterweight. We're talking about junior welterweights.
Gotcha.
I think maybe he lost that guy. Remember Teron Millette?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
That's who he lost. You got it.
Come on, who remembers
That's
Mutt?
incredible.
Teron Millette.
You got it.
Hey,
That was good.
yeah, Teron Millette. I think he was out of St. Louis. He owns an amateur victory over Vernon Forrest by knockout.
I got a question for you, Doug. Maybe Samir knows. So we got an announcement this week on Usyk and Gasayev. We have a location and date. July
Right.
21st.
Moscow?
Moscow. You gonna go, Samir?
Probably not.
And Cecilia.
can't
and
wait.
Cecilia's on the undercard.
Yeah.
It was a question for
Oh,
Tom. I
she's in
guess.
the co-feature?
I'm just wondering who the opponent is.
I think that's
Russian
a
girl or-
Russian boxer, or maybe Ukrainian. I'm not
It's a
sure.
Ukrainian or Russian girl. Okay. And she's fighting.
Yeah,
in
she's
pro-main.
Russian. The Ice Queen.
Right. So, immediately when they announced where the location is, the odds tightened.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it's very close now. So
Yeah.
they had initially opened Usyk.
But is that better for you? If you're a bettor and you're betting on Usyk,
Yeah.
is it better for you if the odds are closer?
Yeah, it's better. If you're taking Usyk, it's better for you.
Right.
If you liked Gasayev, you should have took him before the location.
Right.
But this is a terrible fight for me to bet because those are two of my favorite fighters.
No. Yeah.
I don't know who's
See,
gonna
I don't have a dog in that race.
I like Garcia.
You
See,
like
and
Gasayev.
I slightly
Coach
favor
likes Gasayev.
I slightly favor Usyk because he's more versatile. He
Yeah.
moves. Actually, though, Gassiev showed me something in that last fight. He showed me that he's versatile too. He's not just a come forward guy.
What a
Gassiev's
fight.
got these arms. They're so short. Like I don't know. I
What an
just
unbelievable.
But with
So
the
let
neck,
me
neck
ask
on
you this.
Gassiev.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. We talked. You mentioned Six Heads.
And he's younger than you. Gassiev's like 24.
Really?
That accomplished. 24. I
Wow.
mean, he's
Okay, so
definitely youth is on his
we
side.
talking about Six Heads.
Remember Andrew
Okay.
Six Heads Lewis?
Okay, now who did he get knocked out by at Madison Square Garden on a big card?
JP, don't let him lose the keys.
I hope he's not
I think he might have. I don't know.
So who knocked him out? And remember?
Yeah, Six Heads Lewis. Well, Ricardo Mayorga knocked him out.
Yeah, but who knocked him out on that? It was a big card. Jose Celaya fought some guy from New York in that card.
Oh.
And
Oh, there was a card in New York where Six Heads Lewis lost.
yeah,
Huh.
he got knocked out.
I don't remember. I
Um,
wasn't a huge
Gaddy-
Six Head
Gaddy-
Lewis fan,
Gaddy.
although I was there when he won a title against James Page in Vegas.
Someone writes Gassiev versus Joshua in the future.
It's a good fight for Joshua. I don't know.
Okay, I give you this.
Gassiev.
Yeah.
Actually, Gassiev's not that short, but he just seems stocky. I don't know.
Well, there's,
I like to see guys. I mean, you know, the winner of Usyk Gassiev is going to be undisputed cruiserweight. I'd like to see, you know, the
What happens
undisputed
next?
cruiserweight champ actually
Defense.
stake his claim
Yeah.
in that division, like rule for a while. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
be that undisputed guy.
okay,
But I
give
guess
you
the,
this.
the allure of the heavyweights and that kind of money and attention, it's very difficult to.
So speaking of
resist.
heavyweights, June 22nd, 1937. Guy won the world title, KO 8 in Chicago,
Sorry, what was the year?
1937.
Going way back,
June.
Dave.
Oh yeah, but you know it though. June 22nd.
June 22nd, 1937,
Yeah,
in Chicago.
yeah. KO 8. He won the heavyweight title.
Is this Joe Louis beating Jimmy Braddock,
Yeah.
Cinderella Man? I think Joe tasted canvas early in that fight.
So here's 1 year later, June 22nd, 1938. Joe Louis fought again.
Is this his
Big,
first-
huge, most anticipated fight maybe of all time.
This is in 1930. What?
8. 1 year to the day.
After he won the title?
Yeah.
Was this his fight against Max Baer?
You got the first name right.
Oh, Max Schmeling.
Yeah. The
Oh,
rematch.
He got upset. Oh, the rematch. Yeah,
Jacob
that was.
Caldera guessed it. Max Schmeling.
Who guessed it?
Jacob Caldera.
Good going, Jacob. Wow.
What does he win for that?
I don't know. We should give. I was just, you know, it's so funny. I was just thinking about that. We should, for folks who can get the trivia, especially if they can beat me,
Okay.
if they can answer before I do, we should send them some swag.
Does anyone
Gotta
know?
talk to Tom. We got you get a
Yeah.
Triple G towel.
No, you get no.
I think Tom's got a few
I'm going to
extras.
talk. I'm going to speak for Tom.
Who to give it to
Okay.
me then?
Oh, you don't have one?
I don't-
Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to speak for
Dave's
Tom.
got a couple.
You get 4 ringside tickets to the Triple G Canelo fight.
What? For a question answered
Wow.
on the
Hey,
internet?
we deliver, man.
I'm going to be
deliver.
Googling
Hey,
it myself.
Hey, Tom delivered some news during the last Periscope. The fact that the next fight night, oh sorry, not Fight Night Club, the next Hollywood Fight Nights is August 8th,
Yeah.
and
That's
Superfly a month later
Yeah.
in September, Superfly 3, which will be very interesting to see what kind of lineup he's able to put together because Rungvisai is not fighting again in the U.S. this year.
He's fighting though. They just have
Yeah, he's fighting in Thailand.
What do you
Yeah.
got Delakian? He just had a win at home.
Yeah, Delakian, they should get him back on there, but he is a flyweight.
Okay.
But that's cool.
Let me give you another one. June 22nd,
I'm trying to think, there's a couple of guys who are unavailable to be
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that card. Who
If I won't do it, right?
yeah, and Chocolatito might be on some other card. and
Okay.
He's
And
got
he
to get
might
medically.
not, and he might not.
He's got to get medically cleared to fight in California. So
My advice
tough.
to him is not to fight again.
same here. I think he's.
I mean, he was going. He could see it happening.
Yes,
You know, and then that's a big knockout.
it was a natural
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, I would
decline.
Quit. I would quit right now.
Yeah. He's
Ahead, quit ahead. Okay, so here's another one. June 22nd, 1976, at Wembley. Big upset.
The Brit-
Yeah, 1976, huh? And it was an upset.
Big upset.
What weight
We
class?
knew who was going to win welterweight.
Oh,
You know it.
1976. Okay, so is this Carlos Palomino beating John H. Stracey? Did you know that Stracey was ahead on the cards at the time of the stoppage?
Well, you know, I would.
I've never seen that fight in its entirety.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah?
It's an incredible
I got
fight.
it.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to look for it. Yeah.
It's definitely on YouTube.
You and I are Carlos Palomino's biggest fans.
Oh my
I'm
God.
I feel real comfortable saying that.
I wonder if he's going to make another.
Like, I want to hear. Yeah, he might as well.
He could.
Yeah.
No, that guy's. I mean.
Kick my ass.
Well, he's like the Triple G of his day.
Yeah.
There's a guy with style,
Yeah.
works out hard.
Yeah.
He's good. Okay, so here's one. June 24th, 1947. Okay, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Top of the food chain.
KO9.
What's the year again?
1947.
1947.
And one guy is
Right into the golden age.
KO9. One guy, all-time great. The other guy didn't do too well.
But was he well known?
Not really.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know him. You know
Well,
who it
what weight class? What weight
is.
class?
Welterweight.
Welterweight, 1947.
Okay, I'll give you two.
It's in Cleveland.
Don Hamilton's dad refused to go to the fight.
Oh,
Because
gosh.
he said the
This
guy's
is
gonna
Sugar
get
Ray
killed.
Leonard versus Jimmy Doyle.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh, Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Sugar
this
Ray.
is what happened. 6 months before that fight, they had to carry Jimmy Doyle out of the ring.
Right, he had been knocked out.
And then he had about 4 or 5 or 6 fights, and then he fought
In
Sugar
that
Ray.
period, yeah. So he was probably fighting all those fights with a concussion.
Yeah. So what? Okay, I'll give you something sort of similar.
And Jimmy Doyle was a young guy. He was in his
Yeah,
early
he's
20s.
27. Oh, 22.
22.
Yeah.
He had a lot of fights.
He was from LA.
Yeah.
And he had-
Popular fighter, though. I mean, you know, on lower level.
Yeah,
He wasn't
yeah.
championship. But
And
I'm
he
saying
had-
he was, people,
His pro debut was the Olympic Auditorium.
yeah.
And he fought a lot. So,
Yeah.
so
That
I
says
tell you a
something,
fight
the
that's
debut
sort
in
of
that
similar to
opinion.
that. This other guy got knocked out here in LA
Yeah.
twice. One of the times they carried him out of the ring. I was at both those fights.
Right.
Then he fought like 3 months later at the Olympic, and I was there, and they carried him out, and he died a year and a half later.
Oh, right.
Who was that?
Lavarante. His name Alejandro.
Yeah.
Alejandro Lavarante.
And who's the guy?
He was a light heavyweight contender from Argentina.
And who were the two guys who knocked him out before?
Archie Moore and was it Cassius Clay? Yeah. And then he was fighting a guy that he was dominating. You were at that fight.
Yeah, I was at
And
all
then
three.
suddenly he just runs out of
I was
gas.
at all three of those.
Yeah.
fights. Who was
He's-
the guy?
That he died against?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
John Riggins, Oakland, California.
You gotta feel bad for Lavarante, his family, and Riggins. He's just in there getting beat up, and then the dude dies, and that.
And they carried him out like
Yeah.
a few months before.
Yeah.
But that would never. Now I think it's a little.
Yeah. Well, that's why they have mandatory suspensions when you get knocked out. They, the commission won't allow you to fight for like 2 months, and they say no contact for a month. I think for 30 days, something like that.
Okay, let me give you this one.
Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's like
If
no
you
contact for 60 days.
If you get this one,
So hey, in just kind of a downer, the two ring deaths that you brought up, Jimmy Doyle and Lavarante,
Yeah.
but it kind of ties into what we were saying about Roman Gonzalez.
yeah.
And that's part of the reason why the California Commission won't let him fight here. Last time he fought in California, he was laid out flat. It was a pretty chilling knockout. And they know he's had a long career. He's had a lot of hard
And
fights.
he's getting beat up. Like,
Yeah. And, this guy's like in his early 30s before a natural straw weight. That's like being in your early 40s. You know what I mean? And he just took on all comers too. So, they want to be cautious, and so he's got to before they will license him to fight again in California. He's going to have to go through a battery of medical exams
was efficient.
and neurological tests, right?
And it's not just.
I mean, I
that
hope.
one.
I hope it's comprehensive. Yeah, no, I was terrified the way he went down. I was like, oh God.
Okay, let me give you this one. This was June 24th. A lot of fights during June. Wow.
Yeah, well, back in the golden age, June was when you had the big outdoor fights.
Yeah.
The weather was right to have
June
fights in
and
stadiums.
September.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. June 24th, 1995. This guy retained his IBF cruiserweight title in Atlantic City.
1995.
Yeah. So the guy who won 12-round decision is this really tall, like sort of really. He was good. I'll give you his nickname maybe, but that'll give it away. And he fought this other guy. So
90.
okay, I'll give you the guy. I'll give you the
Cruiserweight.
I'm going to give you the nickname.
Which belt was it?
It was the IBF cruiserweight. I'm going to give you this guy's
He's a
nickname.
big,
Then
and he's a
you
tall
to,
dude,
I
huh?
want you to tell me the other guy, the guy he beat, and where he's from. Okay.
Oh, was it Al Cole? Ice is the nickname. Ice, Al Cole. Al Cole.
You got it.
Out of Spring Valley, New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
That's very good.
Eh?
And who'd he fight?
Good job, Doug.
Gosh, I don't know. What was the?
Hey,
What was
that
the?
was good.
What was the result?
That was Al Ice Cole won a 12-round decision against this guy, and he retained his IBF.
Oh, he retained
cruiserweight.
it. So this is when this
Yeah.
isn't when he won the title.
No, when he
this is a
retained it.
retention.
Okay, I'll just tell you where the guy's from.
Okay.
Jamaica. Big
Cruiserweight
puncher.
from Jamaica?
Huge puncher.
From Jamaica?
Yeah.
A cruiserweight?
Yeah.
Cruiserweight contender from Jamaica. Wasn't Leslie Stewart, was it? No. It's going to drive me crazy that I didn't get this.
Jamaican
What is it?
McCrazy.
No, I'll
Does
let you-
anybody know?
Nope.
Who did Al? Come on, folks. Do not box wreck it.
Hey,
Ice Al Cole, IBF cruiserweight title defense
Who was
against a
good.
Jamaican puncher
Who was good.
who went 12 rounds with him.
yeah, the guy, big puncher from
And this
Jamaica.
guy ever win a title himself?
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't think so.
But you remember him. Puncher
Yeah,
from
no,
Jamaica.
I remember the name. but
Remember the
I-
name. Gosh, man. Jamaica. God, I think Jamaica, like Mike McCallum, you know.
Yeah,
I
but he
think,
fought a bunch of guys.
yeah.
Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn, no, he was a British middleweight.
Jacob
Yeah.
Caldera says Nigel Benn.
Come on, Jacob. You got, didn't he guess one of the old school ones?
yeah.
You guessed Max Schmeling, yeah. Okay.
You want me to tell you?
That's going to piss me off not getting it.
Carl Thompson.
Now, Carl Thompson was a Brit, but he was a cruiserweight. You got the right division.
I give you his first
That was
name.
Master
All right.
Fu.
Uriah.
Oh, Uriah Grant. God, Uriah Grant. Yeah.
All right.
You know what? He was Jamaican.
Yeah.
He fought out of Florida. I thought he was a brother from Florida. I thought he was came out of the same ward as the 2 Live Crew or something. I don't know. Okay, so he was Jamaican. You know who his trainer was? Remember Al Banani?
Yeah. Al Banani. Right.
Al Banani.
It's like a made-up
Florida
name.
guy. I know. Al Banani. I think he was an ex-cop.
Is that Italian?
Yeah, he's an Italian dude. Yeah. Cool guy. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
he
gonna
was
give
one
you
of
this one.
along with Abel Sanchez. He was one of those guys that had a lot of fighters who were promoted by Don King.
But it sounded like he's a gang guy.
Yeah,
A mob guy. doesn't it?
Yeah.
With that
He was a
name?
cop. He
From
was
the
a
Banana
cop. Yeah.
family.
Okay, so I'll give you this one. This was in Monte Carlo, and this is this guy unified the WBA and WBC middleweight.
Okay.
June 25th, 1976.
All right. So stop right there.
You know
We're
it.
talking about Carlos Monzon.
Right,
And if he unified the titles, that means he fought his Colombian rival,
right, you got it.
Valdez.
Yeah.
Rodrigo Valdez. That's a forgotten fighter.
That's good.
Nobody remembers Rodrigo Valdez.
You did.
And he was a middleweight, but he was strong. Oh, my God. He would, you know what? I think he's definitely one of the most underrated South American fighters. I think he's one of the best from Colombia. You know, like top 5 fighter from Colombia, boxer. And I think if Monzon hadn't been around, maybe Rodrigo Valdez could have been the dominant middleweight champ. Probably wouldn't have reigned as long as Monzon, but I think he would have had a real strong, 3 or 4 year run. Rodrigo Valdez.
Yeah, that was good. Hey, and even
Hey,
Ice
was that
Cold.
Monzon's last fight?
I don't know.
Or second to last
I
fight?
can't tell you.
He dropped Monzon got dropped, I think, in the first round or early rounds.
Okay, here's one. I was at this fight. This was Madison Square Garden, June 23rd, 1969. Retained the heavyweight title, KO 7.
You were at this one? What's the year again?
This was 1969.
1969. Is this Joe Frazier beating Jerry Query?
Yeah. KO 7. So this is what happened.
Do you know that was Ring Magazine's Fight of the Year?
No, this was the second
Oh, this
fight.
is the rematch.
Yeah, this is the second fight.
This was not Fight of the Year, but it was a
no.
candidate.
Yeah, so it was a good. Well, he killed him. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
yeah, it
even
was-
close. So the
right.
reason I went there,
Hey, but hadn't Query been on a nice little run?
he was on
What's
a
up,
great
Matt?
run.
How you doing? Good.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
If you wanted to bet on Corey here,
Right.
he was a 2-1 favorite.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I went back there, And so this
Wait,
is,
did you travel all the way from LA to New York just to bet on a fight, or did you
Yeah.
already have business
No,
there and
no.
you're meeting some friends
I
out
went
there?
just to bet on a fight.
You just do that.
No, what happened was that's before the internet. You know, you
Yeah.
couldn't bet. So what happens? I'd gone once before there to bet on a fight.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, do you go there? How are you going to find someone to bet?
Right.
So I go to the weigh-in to see, just sort of hang around.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to this guy. We're at the hotel and we're walking to the weigh-in.
Right.
And I'm with this guy, and I said, yeah, you know, we start talking. He said, oh, he was just in Panama and here. And I said, I don't know if I believe this guy. I said, you know, I want to bet on the fight. And says, I can get you down.
Yeah.
Teddy Brenner.
Teddy Brenner.
Teddy
Hall
Brenner.
of Fame matchmaker.
So now I had
Madison Square Garden, made hundreds of great fights.
So I had my in. So when I went back for this fight,
You had no idea.
and I won the other fight.
Let me ask you this: had you heard the name Teddy Brenner?
No, I knew who.
Right,
But
you
I
didn't know.
it was
You
him.
didn't have the face connected.
I didn't
Okay.
know it was him. So he was what a great guy. So
Wow.
and I went there to bet on a preliminary fight on the semi-main.
I didn't know you were that much into
Yeah.
gambling, man.
And I went to do that because no one knew this guy was coming from LA to fight this
Right.
up and comer. So I went back there, and so they were nervous about me.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no one even knew who this kid was,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he killed him. But I thought, you know, Corey was surely going to win this fight.
Really? Now, why did you think? Why did you think he was?
He-
What had changed from his first fight with Frazier to the second? And this is still 1969. Frazier's still in his prime.
I don't know.
Frazier just looked like he was vulnerable.
I thought
or
he was
just
going to
looked
win, and
like
then
he was going to burn out or
it
something.
could beat the odds by
Yeah.
so much. This is before your time. When
No,
we were
I've seen
born.
fights though.
But you got to tell the kids at home that how easy it was, or what the flight experience was like in 1969.
The flight was. I'll tell you how it was.
Yeah.
I snuck on 6 planes going back and forth.
I remember you telling me that.
It's the truth. I'd buy
Yeah.
a ticket,
Right.
and then you just sort of walk in. No one took your ticket.
Yeah.
And then you just sit down,
That's
and
crazy.
then I turned my ticket back in. The first time it happened by accident. I have my ticket.
Yeah.
No one asked me anything.
Yeah.
I just walk on the plane. No one asked for my ticket.
Yeah.
So I turned it in, and I thought, you know, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
So I did it 3 times each way.
Yeah.
Now,
Coach.
you know, if you even think it, you're in jail.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah.
So Teddy Brenner,
Wow.
wow, that was like. So he was laughing at me
Oh yeah.
afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Frazier was. I mean, what a special.
Frazier,
fighter.
that would just.
Hey, in the next issue of the Ring, we have a CompuBox analysis of the primes of both Joe Frazier and Mike Tyson. And statistically speaking, these guys were amazing. Like, Frazier was a volume puncher for a heavyweight. Like, he threw twice as many punches as your average heavyweight. But he wasn't as easy to hit as people think he was. Like, we're used to seeing him in these highlights from his fights with George Foreman getting knocked out and Muhammad Ali hitting him with hundreds of punches. But against everybody else, that bob and weave, he was hard to hit. So people didn't hit him often. I think half of the power punches that he landed on his opponents were body shots. And Mike Tyson didn't throw as much, but he threw a lot of body shots, and his accuracy was off the charts. And obviously he did a lot of damage with every punch, you know. But they were like two of the most, statistically speaking, two of the most offensively efficient and effective heavyweights of all time. And we have them like a mythical matchup.
Yeah.
So
Who do you like in that?
I kind of like Frazier. If he can get out of the second round.
Depends when it is.
Yeah. Well, it's them in their prime. Both guys in their prime. So we're talking about Frazier. We're talking about like from 1968 to 1970 or 71. You know, all the way up to the first Ali fight. And Tyson, you know, obviously like 1987 to 89. It's pretty short. It's kind of a short little.
So, you know,
pocket
Frazier
there.
fought at the Olympic Auditorium
Sure,
a few
sure.
times. I don't know
Here's the
who
thing
he
about
fought
Frazier. I
that.
think Frazier could push, could get in close with Mike. And maybe Mike will knock him out when he gets in close, but I think Frazier can hit and hurt Mike. And Mike didn't, you know, Mike could
Yeah.
take a good shot, but he didn't like getting hit, you know. Frazier seemed to dig it. But Frazier, I think, could push him back. You know what I mean? And I don't think Tyson's the same guy pushing back. And Frazier's also the kind of guy, he just keeps fighting. Unless you can, like, put him on Queer Street, like, Foreman, and Tyson did have that power, so I don't know. But just remember this: how many times did Foreman knock Frazier down in that first fight? 6.
A lot of times.
He got up 6 times.
Yeah, he did. He got up in the last one too.
Yeah, he keeps getting up. He's one of those guys. So that's tough to deal with. Especially him in his prime.
So who did Frazier fight in L.A.?
Oh, Scrap Iron Johnson.
Maybe.
Yeah, Scrap Iron at the Olympic.
Okay.
Talk about an all-time. He's not great, but like a well-known gatekeeper, right? Like an old-school gatekeeper.
Well, you got ice cold.
Yes, I'm very proud of that.
You got Rodrigo Valdez.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good. And I just want to tell everyone how good Doug was as the MC when he presented the belt to
glad you were
Triple
there.
G. Wow, you were good. You're a natural.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
good. The whole thing was
That
good.
was a great idea. That was Tom Loeffler's idea. And those pictures that I took with Abel and Triple G and Tom, who looked a little out of place in that bright yellow shirt. Everyone that's wearing black. You didn't get the memo?
We were looking like Kazakhstani flag. I was blue, he was yellow.
Oh yeah, that works. See that? Yeah, you and Tom work in that regard. But no, in all seriousness, those pictures, they went everywhere. Like I've had people send me screenshots of those pictures from, I guess, like boxing programs from other parts of the world, like England and Mexico City.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. And you're in a lot of them, Samir.
Yeah, Samir.
I told Samir he's famous now.
No, I told Doug it's just nice to be a part of the history.
Yeah, absolutely. So are we done, Coach?
No, I have another. I got a
Okay.
couple more. Okay. Okay, this was June 25th, 1966, in Seoul, Korea. This guy wins the super welterweight title, 15-round decision.
Okay. Is this Nino Benvenuti?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who he beat. Korean
No,
guy.
he lost.
Oh, he lost. Yeah, that's his first loss. That's Nino Benvenuti was the Olympic gold medalist in the 1960 Rome Olympics.
Right.
And I think Rome was his hometown. And that was at welterweight. He turned pro as a junior middleweight / middleweight. Went on to be a Hall of Fame middleweight champion. But this was his first loss. Do you know what his record was before he lost to this Korean gentleman? 65-0.
Wow.
And do you know what his amateur record was?
I'm going to guess.
Guess.
82-0.
Close. It was 120-0.
That's crazy.
How about that?
Rostowski
Okay,
said he
I'm
turned
gonna-
80.
Oh,
Benvenuti.
Benvenuti. Yeah, he's healthy. He turned 80, man. Benvenuti. Nino. Wow, what an underrated middleweight. Talk about underrated middleweights like Valdez.
Yeah.
Benvenuti.
Okay, I'm going to let
So
you
underrated.
guess at the guy's last name from Korea. You're
Kim?
going to get it, yeah.
Steve Kim's great-great-granduncle. Yeah.
You got it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Anyway,
Here's the
Dougie,
thing. Here's the thing. Had that fight taken place in Rome, there's no doubt in my mind that Benvenuti wins that fight, whether he deserved it or not.
Okay.
But no, that's awesome. I mean, 65-0. I mean, to
That's
go
crazy
unbeaten.
record, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you one last one. Speaking of Joe Frazier. KO2, Joe Frazier retains New York World Heavyweight title
Yeah.
June 24th, 1968.
You knocked a dude out in 2 rounds.
Yeah. And this guy, I mean, he fought a bunch of guys, but he wasn't a top contender.
Yeah.
He fought in L.A.
Oh, it was Ramos.
Yeah.
Is
What's
it
his first name?
Emmanuel Ramos?
Yeah.
Mexican heavyweight. Kind of rare.
Right. Rare, very rare.
Doug, Hamed
Folks,
Zaman.
find that on YouTube. Joe Frazier versus Manuel Ramos. Because Ramos gave it his best shot in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, these two heavyweights went at it like featherweights.
Have you watched that fight?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh,
Doug,
I'm
are you
a
going,
Frazier fan.
Are you going to Malaysia? Hamed is asking.
No, I'm not. And hopefully that fight does. They're able to keep that date, and the fight does happen because I think it's a really good fight for both fighters. Great opportunity. Who knows? Maybe the winner gets fed to Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm going to be in New York City on that weekend, as a matter of fact. I was invited to speak at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Met.
Oh, cool.
They have an exhibit of vintage boxing cards from the late 1800s through the 1940s.
That's
So
awesome.
they wanted somebody, a boxing expert, quote unquote, to come in and kind of talk about that stuff.
It's
So
a perfect drive for that.
I'm going to do that. Yeah, it's a trip.
That's awesome.
Do you have an agent?
I don't have an agent. Well, my wife.
Are you going to have a...
I'm taking Nina. I'm taking my agent with me. Yeah. So
Let me ask JP
have
one
a few
thing.
days in New York City. So
Are you
that's
leaving-
why I'm not. If I'm not going to be in Malaysia, obviously, but that's why I'm not going to cover the Regis Prograis fight in New Orleans, because if I didn't have that engagement, I definitely would have traveled to New Orleans for a prize fight.
So, JP, are you leaving?
Yeah, he's ready to go.
What do you have to
He's
say
ready.
to your fans?
Always drive safely. Never text and drive.
You got
Zerto
any tips?
Ramirez.
You
Zerto
got-
Ramirez.
You got any betting tips?
Well, I don't know Zerto's opponent. I don't know if he's going to be a
Undefeated
heavy
guy, right?
favorite or-
Angulo? Is that the last
Yeah,
name?
I don't know the guy, so
I
I've
don't
got to
know,
research
maybe.
this guy a little bit. There was a bit of controversy because people were crapping on the opponent, and then people said check into him a little bit.
Yeah,
so-
but this is the second unknown guy in a
I
row
know.
that Zerto's fighting on ESPN. It's
I
like,
know.
come on.
Yeah.
He's going to
There's-
kill him. So, let me ask you this, JP.
Yeah.
What are the odds on the Pacquiao fight happening?
Well, I listened to Steve Kim's podcast this week, and it sounds like it's 70% it won't happen. It sounds like it's a no.
Well,
Do you
Golden
think-
Boy has set a deadline for them a couple times. They set a deadline and like, all right, we'll give you
Strange.
some more time.
It's
Get that
strange
money and
because
come on now.
They
You know.
keep announcing undercards, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen, is it?
I hope it happens because we wrote about that fight extensively
story.
in the next
Yeah.
magazine, which is
Yeah.
out now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
I
got
got
Manny
mine in the mail.
Pacquiao on the cover.
I got mine in the mail.
Yeah.
Not in the boca.
Does he speak English?
A little bit of both.
Hey, Leo.
A little bit of both.
Hey, Leo, what's happening?
Here he comes.
So this week we got Michael Conlan's getting a homecoming fight, and Zerto's fighting on ESPN, and Alex Saucedo is fighting Lenny Z on the
Right.
undercard.
That's a good fight.
In
I'm looking
Oklahoma.
forward to
Homecoming
Saucedo
fight.
Zappa. Yeah.
That should probably be the best fight of the week. I would say.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
a
Leo,
good
come on over
lightweight
here.
scrap.
So I guess we'll update people next week if we see odds on Garcia Easter. We're waiting on that.
Yeah.
And odds on a few other fights.
What's the biggest fight happening?
To me, I
this
think
weekend?
it's this weekend. I think would be Zerto's fight as far as
This is
TV.
kind of a slow
This
week
is a
coming
slow
up.
week.
Yeah.
I think I'm just looking forward to July and Usyk and Gasayev and
July's hot.
July and August will get
Looking
hot.
forward to
but,
Usyk and Gasayev.
The end of June's a
It's
little
quiet.
quiet. That's
okay.
my Super Bowl right now. Usyk
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Gasayev. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, we'll find out more about Cecilia's opponent from Tom, and we'll see
Yeah.
what odds are on Garcia Easter.
Well, I'll tell you what the odds are.
You think you know?
5-1.
Okay. Yeah. I think a little.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
3-1.
He's going to kill Easter. He'll
I
kill
think
him.
that's fair. Garcia's a hell of a fighter.
He's a
And
hell of a
he's
Garcia's
fighter.
really good.
very accomplished.
Yeah.
So,
He's a hell of a fighter.
what kind of a driver are you? And by the way, I love that hoodie right there.
Ring
I don't
magazine.
even
No.
have one. I got a good one.
I like
I
that
got
too.
this
Yeah.
with the Christmas
Very-
deal. If you guys
very
want to check on the
vintage.
site,
Yeah.
Christmas deal with the subscription, digital, and you get it in the mail.
Yep.
And you can get your different color sweatshirts. I want traditional gray right there.
Yeah.
I wear this every week
Traditional
to work.
classic.
I represent at work. Yep.
Thank you.
Right there. Warner Brothers has seen this sweatshirt a lot.
Right on. All right.
And then what I do is I wear the sweatshirt, and then I keep my magazine right there on the desk. And then someone says, "You have a lot of ring stuff." I say, "Well, I actually know the editor of."
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask. Good friend of mine.
You're being very modest. You're a celebrity yourself.
So we're representing at Warner Brothers for the ring
All
every
right.
week. So drive, no text and drive ever.
Right.
No text and drive,
You don't do that.
never. At stoplights if I have to.
Doug did it.
Well, I used to do that. Stoplights or when I was now.
I think my son likes your shoes. He's checking out
Yeah?
your shoes.
What's the yellow? Yeah, you got to coordinate.
Yeah.
Yellow
So-
laces.
Oh, you got a point. So we'll see everyone next week. I guess we'll see about July. We got Pro Grace coming up. We got Pacquiao and Matisse
Maybe. Yeah.
And then we'll see after that. And then Usyk Gasayev. So July will get hotter. July will
Yeah.
get hotter.
Anyway,
Coach?
see you, JP.
See you, JP.
All right.
Thanks
Leo,
for
you
being
ready?
here, man.
Hey, Dougie, you were great. One thing I forgot to
Thanks,
mention,
Samir. See ya.
I watched the
Time to buy more
Hagler
Ethan.
Sugar Ray Leonard replay last night on TV. I had seen that fight on pay-per-view, but I've never seen it since. Wow, Sugar Ray. I mean,
Holds
both of them. But Sugar Ray, after all that time off, and
Yeah.
wow,
It holds up
fast. I mean,
31 years later.
it was incredible. I mean, I couldn't stop
Like
watching
a good
it.
movie, yeah?
Yeah.
And then I saw Oscar De
I
La
will
Hoya
take
fight Chavez #1, which I was at, and wow, Oscar was incredible.
Yes, he was.
I mean,
He would glide around the ring. It's like he was floating.
and then he had
Like his feet was this much above the canvas, just floating on a little pocket of air. But the jab was like razor sharp.
Boxing Jedi.
Yeah.
no, he was good.
Yeah, I mean, no, he could move.
He
That
could
guy.
he could really.
Yeah, especially at 140 pounds, he was something else.
And he was, it was almost even money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Chavez's record going into that fight, Dave, was 96-1-1.
Yeah.
And he was the champ. He was the
You know who
defending
his loss
champion.
was to?
The one loss was to Frankie Randall.
Right.
And that was the best night of Frankie Randall's life. What a
Yeah.
fight. That version of Frankie Randall would have beat a lot of really good junior welterweights. Maybe a few great ones. Frankie the Surgeon Randall.
And who was sitting next to me at that fight?
You were at that fight?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
I was at the Oscar Chavez one.
Oh, okay.
Who was sitting next to me? Two guys.
Two guys were sitting next to you. Were they boxers?
One was,
Oh.
and one was Mike Tyson.
James Toney.
No, Mike
Oh, Mike
Tyson,
Tyson.
and Steve Wynn.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
Steve Wynn's
Talk
you
about
know,
icons.
Yeah.
I know.
How's Steve Wynn doing now?
I don't know.
He disappeared.
Probably not that good. He's had better. He's seen better days.
He
Yeah.
cashed out.
Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. Dougie, you were incredible.
Thank you.
Samir,
Thank you.
you were great.
Hey, everybody, we ran a 200. Just
Yes.
so you know.
We're
We
gonna
ran
run a
some
record.
hundreds, and the three of us ran a 200, and Coach paced Samir and I. So,
Yeah.
we're
Doug,
getting our workout in.
Jacob Caldera, the Fleming guy,
Yeah.
really, really wants you to follow him. So
Oh, okay.
If you could consider
Follow
that.
on Instagram or on Twitter?
On Twitter.
Okay. What is it? What's his Twitter handle? It's probably just Jacob.
Jacob _ Caldera.
Okay, I'll find that. I can remember that, Jacob.
He'll be
Absolutely, bro. You know it. You got yourself a follow. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
All
All right.
I'll do it.
Peace out, everybody.
See ya. Have a great week.